Hey, what's up everyone? This is Coach Matt Ellis over at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. As I explained in the previous article, in the previous video on homemade equipment using our sandbags, when I first opened Primal, I didn't have any of this stuff that you see behind me. I didn't have any of these big heavy dumbbells. I didn't have these big heavy kettlebells. When it came right down to it, we opened this gym with basically nothing, just some Craigslist equipment and some homemade equipment. Now, the sandbag article that came out a couple of days ago, that had a fantastic kind of following to it. I was receiving a lot of questions. There were some comments left below for people wondering how this stuff is made. We are in the final stages. We're in the final editing process of a video that is going to explain how to make all of the homemade equipment. That's the big green sandbag that you saw before, farmer's walk handles, which we're going to show you today, parallel bars, a suspension trainer similar to like a Rings or a TRX, and last but not least, the Bulgarian sandbag, which is the tire inner tube sandbag that wraps around you like a yoke. So we're going to be covering that in the next couple of videos. That video basically is going to show you how to make all of that stuff for under 200 bucks. All 5 of those pieces of equipment, well under 200 bucks. If you don't have a weight room, if your weight room is small and overcrowded, or if you just don't have any funding for your team to buy new training equipment, this is what you do. You make your own. If I could do it, and the stuff that I made has lasted more than 3 years with hundreds of athletes coming through here, you can certainly do it as well. So the other day when we said something about farmer's walk handles, people were like, yeah, that's great, you can make homemade farmer's walk handles, but all you do with it is farmer's walks. What else can you do with those things? So I wanted to show you a few of my favorite farmer's walk exercises, or exercises that you can do with farmer's walk handles. All right, the first one that we want to talk about, obviously, is the farmer's walk. Farmer's walk, you've got the 2 handles, one in each hand. What you want to do is simply get real tight with your back. Good posture, brace yourself, stand up, and start walking. Now these are about 75 pounds. We got 70 pounds of weight, and the bars themselves are about 5 pounds each. Pick them up, start walking around, up and down the gym, up and down the field, up and down the parking lot, whatever it is, get that super shoulder and grip strength working. Now that's your farmer's walk. Now, the problem is, a lot of people were like, all right, that's it though. That's all you do. You just do farmer's walks. That is not the case, my friend, because if you turn one of these bad boys sideways, and this is where these are actually a little bit better than a store-bought welded farmer's walk handle, is that you can see it's basically just a big axle. This guy right here, this is 1 1/4 inch thick black pipe. Real tough on the grip. It's about twice the normal thickness of a regular bar like you would use on a barbell or one of these dumbbell handles behind me. It's a real thick, taxing on the grip. So grip is going to come into play no matter what exercise you do with this. So we've got, again, about 75 pounds. Another exercise that you can do is, if you think of this as a loadable strongman axle, thick grip axle, do axle clean and press. Right from the hang position, clean it right up, overhead press, overhead press, overhead press. Great for grip strength, but also great for that shoulder strength. You can do push presses, you can do jerks, split jerks, whatever you want to do. You can also do a lot of other exercises with this that you might not think of. One is going to be your overhead sit-up. Now, overhead sit-ups are typically very tough to do, but they're going to be challenging for your athletes, especially those that don't have a lot of flexibility in their hips. So this is what an overhead sit-up looks like. We're just going to empty the bar out real quick, show you how easy that is to do. Take out one. Take off the other. And we're going to do an overhead sit-up. So with the overhead sit-ups, we're going to lay down on the ground. We're just going to use an empty bar just to demonstrate. We're going to grab really wide as we can. We're going to drive our heels into the ground just like they have hooks on them. We're going to drive the bar forward and finish with the bar overhead and behind our head as much as possible. So this is working core strength, it's working hip flexibility, and it's working shoulder flexibility at the top. The other thing that you can do with these, as you see, we've marked down exactly where the midpoint is with about 6 inches of white athletic tape. You can do anything one arm as well. So one arm push press works fine. You can also do a one arm Turkish get up. Well, all Turkish get ups are one arm, but you get the point. Turkish get up. Bar in hand. Going to drive up to the elbow. Drive up to the hand. Lift our hips off the ground. Put the leg through. Windmill. And then overhead lunge. From here, lunge back. Windmill. Leg comes through. Sit down on our butt. Elbow. And all the way back. So as you can see, these are homemade farmer's walk handles. They only cost about $32 for the pair to make. Simple, easy, one of the most basic things that you can build. But in essence, what you've done is just made a short, loadable, fat grip axle, like you could use for an axle press, or like an oversized fat grip dumbbell. So again, a lot of great things you can do. Instead of using a regular 45-pound Olympic bar, which might be really expensive, which might get ruined if it's kept outside, which might not work correctly if the bearings and everything get screwed up on the end, and that might get taken by somebody else who's not on your track team. Guess what? You can use one of these axles. Video is going to explain how to build it, all for, like I said, real cheap. You can actually probably make 2 pairs of these and still be under the $200 limit that video talks about. So go ahead, try some of these out, check out what you can do with some of this homemade equipment. These farmer's walk bars, they've been in use here for quite some time. And we use them for everything. We use them almost every single day. Overhead sit-ups, overhead presses, fat bars, strongman type training. We love them. You guys will love them too. Super cheap to make. Check it out. Keep tuning back in. Check out Complete Track and Field. Check out the YouTube channel, Primal ATC. We got plenty of homemade equipment like this on there. Great exercises that you can do with your team. If you have no budget, no weight room, or a small weight room that's really overcrowded, here's some great stuff that you can do. Check out the channel. Keep checking back in. Hope to hear from you soon.